Hey all, it's Shaving with Hamad, episode 18. We are back! It's great to be here and see you all. Let's get started again. Last time I did an episode was probably December of 2013, so this has been a very long time coming. I'm excited to be back here. I could continue this fun passion project of mine and talk to you guys all again, so it'll be fun. I've been growing this beard for about 3 months now, so this is something I've been planning for quite some time, and I have other ideas in store as well. As this series will continue, nothing is stopping this train. And I don't have too many other creative outlets, so this is something where I can express myself in my own unique way, and no one will try to disrupt it because it's Shaving with Hamad, I guess. And another reason I wanted to do this again was, besides expression, last time I did this series, I recall that my speaking, my flow, and not as much stuttering when I was in the flow of the series, so I want that to come back in. It's sort of another way to be confident about something, so I'm pretty excited about that. So, what else has been going on with me lately? Well, or why was I gone? I was pretty busy with school back then. 2013, halfway through college, I had lots and lots to do. And another reason why I did stop was just I had a pretty low production value. Now I put much more time into setting this up and how it'll work, so I want to give you guys the best experience while doing the best I can to make a show that I'm proud of. So, to give a little more detail, like I said, I've been growing this beard for 3 months, and I think it's a great way to come back. Well, I mean, what better way is there to announce something than with shaving a beard? I don't know if I can think of anything better. You guys tell me. And like I said, there's a lot more going to be going on with this show. I'm planning on having possibly live streams, better variety of content, and whatever else I come up with on the way. I don't know if you guys can notice, but buzzing off this part of my beard is going to be quite the challenge at the moment. I'd say another challenge of the series is being able to talk and shave all at the same time, both at a high quality. I think it's definitely another challenge that probably drew me away, but I'm happy to try and tackle it again because there's nothing better than being able to do shaving and talking at the same time. I mean, I know everyone else has use for it. So, what's new this time around? Why should you tune in continuously for this series? For one, I've invested in a little more production. I got a new mic. I wasn't even using a mic before, so through sound testing I've done, it's at a higher sound quality, and I think it'll be a much better experience for you. Not as much sounds in the background, and it'll be way more crisp. And I'm excited to get better at sound editing, so this is a good reason for me to do so. And like I said, a lot of my show before is pretty unstructured and focused, so I'm hoping that it'll be much more consistent and thought out and planned out, because there were episodes where I did have notes in, but for most of them I pretty much winged it. I don't even remember which ones those were, which is probably a tell how much I really didn't even prepare in the first place. Next, I have some new shaving tools introduced that I've taken an interest in. I've dabbled in the double-edged safety razor, which has proven, which I don't know why I wasn't using years ago, and I'm really excited to try out different kinds and new blades. So you guys will get a preview of all that after I shave this behemoth. And another thing I've been thinking about was I'm deciding on the show length. Obviously, this one's probably one of the longer versions because given it's a grand return. So I'm deciding the format. I want to hear from you guys as we go through the videos. Well, 5 to 10 minutes, the full length, edited, cut. I think out of all the feedback, that one will probably be the most helpful. So, like I said, what else is there to expect? Like I said, better sound and video, and me experimenting whether for better or for worse. You guys' input on that will be pretty helpful. And given this show is called Shaving with Hamad, it'll be a lot of me. What did you expect? Well, it'll be more about myself, topics that are interesting to me at the moment, and some of my passions, which include basketball, TV, some movies, music, shaving, of course, some little games, coding, and whatever fun cooking recipe I try, and if it even tastes good. Like I said, another thing I want to try is eventual live shows. You guys will be able to, it'll be basically the Twitch of shaving. You can comment, ask me questions, or I want read and answer questions live on the air. Like, who else can shave, talk, and interact with fans at the same time? You tell me this person, and I will quit my show. Another thing I've been planning is doing this series around once a week, possibly more times a week once I get comfortable with this, but it's obviously for now not going to be every single time I shave. I want you to enjoy my content, not be overly saturated, get lost in the many episodes potentially I could have throughout a week. I care about you guys and your time management, so I want to be there for you and not just me. I'll say, I haven't done this kind of full buzz shave in a while, and it's a lot more time consuming than I thought. Oh, I haven't felt like the skin on my face in months. This is pretty exciting. Another thing about these long beards too, while you can do several cool things with them, there's upkeep that does go along with them, such as continuously shaving and shampooing and conditioning every day, which can get a little tiresome given my hair is a bit coarse, which means it's a bit rough to run my hands through and clean. So I'm getting a bit tired of that now, and all the upkeep, and especially as we're approaching summer, all the heat, and I'm not looking forward to that. So this cleaner face will be much more welcome. How old did my beard really make me look? I've heard people tell me, oh, you look like in your late 20s. And, well, maybe I look just like a kid now. You tell me. I'll tell you what. I don't know if you guys noticed some of my little beard hairs flying all over the place. I got a little on my tongue earlier. Not the best experience. We're about 10 minutes in and I'm still working on this. Just, like I said, taking a little longer than I thought. Another challenge I'm facing at the moment as I'm discovering this is I'm not technically using a mirror. This phone is taking up my recording device, taking the most of my mirror space, so I guess another fun challenge will be using my recording device as a mirror. Hey, but that will force me to get better at shaving again, so I welcome the challenge. Oh, you guys are in for a pretty long episode. We're almost there. Another thing to look forward to is I haven't touched any of my razors in months, so hopefully I don't cut myself this time around. I'll be sure to be pretty careful because with a single edge and a straight edge and double edge razor, the point is it's supposed to glide across your face. You're not supposed to put really any much pressure at all. That's something I learned the hard way a couple times, so here's hoping it's like riding a bike and that, you know what, that I don't forget. Almost there. And y'all should see like how much hair is like really down there. I don't really want to shave because not everyone would like that, but even I'm amazed like how big my beard really was. And I'm doing a little more than this here, but I want to be really sure that I can just keep going through passes without having to chalk through some of this thicker beard hair that's there. Last time I shaved my bigger beard, I noticed that it didn't take me that long to use my razor suit because, well, using this buzzer does a lot of the work for me. And don't expect to see this at all until I grow a beard again because charging this can take sometimes 6 to 9 hours, which isn't nice at all, and it's kind of inconvenient given that to check back and forth and plan to use it. I've had this buzzer for, I'd say around 4 years, and it's been there for me, but maybe in the future I'll get another one for whatever reason. All right. Finally, we can get to the real shaving. Well, as I'm warming up this water, I'd like to talk a little about what's been going on. Over the last several months, I've been working full time, and it's been pretty nice, consistent, and I guess I'm an adult now. I kind of like it so far. No real big complaints yet, but just happy to have the time to do something like this again. It's something that's always been in the back of my mind for a while now, and now that I can finally execute on it, now I'm here, it's pretty exciting. Another challenge that's pretty interesting in particular this episode is that it's all one take, and especially with this big beard, if I messed up pretty badly, you guys wouldn't get another episode till at least 2 to 3 months in. So I'm making sure that everything here is done right and no calamities or disasters happen. So here's hoping. All right, so the razor I'm using now is this smooth hair double-edged safety razor I use to well, I was up in a trip and I forgot my Parker SR1 and I needed sling on the fly, and I ordered this because I was really curious. I thought it was about time to try something new out, and I've really liked it so far. It's a pretty basic travel double edge, so there are probably some way better models out there, but so I'm pretty encouraged to get some better ones and better sets of blades. So, and it wouldn't be me without using my brush, which I've had for maybe a little too long now. I could probably start getting a new one soon. It's it's badger hair, and that's the only kind I really use. So I don't know. I've heard the horsehair is a lot different. I haven't done too much research about it in a while, so I could probably look into it again. So these days, it's about near the end of the NBA season. It's been quite a historic one. I mean, I don't really have to talk much about the Warriors and how basically there's so many other great teams out there, but they're overshadowed. Like, you don't really give the Thunder much thought at all compared to the Warriors, and the Spurs had themselves a pretty historic season. And if the Warriors weren't there or even existed or in the first place at all, we would be throwing lots of attention to the Spurs. And I haven't watched as many games as I would like, but this has been a fun season, and maybe it's a little overreactionary, but I think this is a better team than the 96 Bulls. Having said that, it's a little irresponsible of me to compare two teams that are completely different eras that have stemmed from completely different play styles. Technically, you can trace the way the Warriors play to Mike D'Antoni's run and gun Suns, 7 seconds or less, or whatever you want to call them. Those Suns were amongst my favorite teams of all time, given that I am a Suns fan, but point is, I really miss Steve Nash. A great Steve Nash. But, like I said, I'm glad Mike D'Antoni was avenged in last year's finals. Alright. We are just about done with the first pass here. And, you know, when you're shaving with these kind of straight edge razors, you have to know that it's okay. You're not going to get everything in the first pass, and you really shouldn't aim to. And since I've done this well, I'm sometimes forgetting that, you know, you only really want to shave on where there's shaving cream. So something you have to be careful about. That can lead to like pretty bad nicks or just not a clean shave while you're wasting your time and sharpness of the blade where there is no cream. One thing I did miss about shaving was applying and lathering the cream. It is pretty comfortable feeling, and for those that don't shave, well, with any of the brushes, I recommend it. I know some people just can't shave with these single edge or straight edge razors, but at the very least, try it with a brush. The hairs will apply more cream to every single strand, much more than your hands can. Some of my long-term and hardcore fans are guessing, Hamad, why aren't you using your single straight edge razor right now? Why are you still with the double edge? Well, one thing I've been trying out with myself is when I last shaved, I would use this as my weed whacker and my Parker SR1 to basically fine tune and just do the little touch-ups. All right, we are about done with this pass, and We are going to refresh right now. All right, we are back at it with the lathering. This would be my third pass. Ideally, you want to do this in like 2 or 3 passes, but I'm a bit rusty with the technique. So it's going to take probably a little more, unfortunately. One thing that's great about these double-edged and single-edged razor blades is you can get 100 pack of them for about $10, which can usually last me a year. And you can replace them like 2 to 8 times depending on 2 to 8 uses on how you shave. So it's better than getting those like Gillette cartridges that don't even give you that many. And I found this has been the best shaves of my life since adopting these. So I wholly recommend it. And like I said, I've been trying to remember how to shave best. Like just having a glide across my face. I really don't need a plan twist, so I have been. It's been a mistake so far. Admittedly, I'm a bit out of practice. But you know what? For a third pass, this really isn't that bad at all. I'm impressed with what I've been doing so far. And I think we're about ready to move on to the single edge razor. All right, let's get it then. Welcome back, Parker SR1, my old friend. So hopefully I don't have to do that many passes. Well, it depends on how clean a shave you really want. But what I suggest for beginners when using these like really sharp double edge and single edge straight edge razors, the suggested path you do is with the grain, across the grain, and against the grain. For your first couple of shaves with these kind of blades, just do with and across because you still need to develop like the technique for it. So I would say like for the single and straight edge, you really want to go to 30 to 45 degree angle with flat on your face like this is considered 1-0 or 1-0. So it takes a bit of practice, and like I said, you really don't need to put much pressure at all. Let the blade do all the work for you. I forgot how smooth the feeling this is. I miss doing this. And I have a little redness over here, but that's more maybe that area has a little bad reaction to the cream I'm using, or I still have to experiment, but for those really interested, the cream I'm using is from The Art of Shaving. It's a lavender essential oil. I mean, I've been a little stubborn about shaving creams that I buy and stick with them for maybe longer than I should, a certain brand, but maybe I was gonna try like a shaving soap next just to see what works better. Because I would say I'm pretty much stuck in the, it works okay, fine for me, which is fine, but there's a whole new world out there for me and I need to step my foot out and explore. All right, now for lathering for the next pass. I'm surprised this isn't taking as many passes as I thought, which is a relief, because I don't want this video to be longer than it really should. It's kind of, I would say, almost a surreal feeling to see my face like this again when it was probably a completely different season, which is, I may be exaggerating a bit since I know people have beards for years, but this is just like top and first reactions that I have. So far, no cuts at all, so I would say I'm doing pretty good at the moment. Hopefully I don't jinx myself, please. I do remember when I was getting better with this razor in one of my early episodes. I don't remember which one. I cut myself not to, well, not badly, but embarrassing enough. I kept on going, which I applaud myself for, but I wish it didn't happen in the first place. All right, we are about ready for what should be the final pass. We are in the home stretch, y'all. Let's do it. Shaving and talking is interesting. Like I said, it's not something that everyone really does. And I'd say the interesting part about it is that when you're shaving, you ideally want to keep your face still. And you wouldn't be able to hear me well if I just talked with my lips barely moving. So it's kind of a challenge to me as like I move my mouth and shave that I don't slip up and accidentally cut myself while my cheeks and face are moving. One thing I did want to mention is one part of the show that I am bringing back are shout outs. So I'm not doing it for, I will do a little short one in a bit, but the way you want to do it is either leave a YouTube comment or tweet me at the link I will provide in the info box. And if you can even ask me a short little question, I'll try to answer it as well. So hit me up. Don't be afraid. I think we're going to be at the longest Shaving with Hamad episode. It's kind of what I expected, and given that this will probably be one of the longest episodes in the series' existence, but I hope every one of you can stay. Well, I think it's time for shouts as well. I want to give, not necessarily a specific one, but to all the family, friends, co-workers that have supported this beard. There have been some long heads that haven't, but they haven't tried to shave my face off themselves, so I do appreciate that. All right, we are about there. I'm pretty pleased with this. I mean, I remember when I was shaving my beard last time, for the first several shaves after, it was a bit different the way it all worked, and that the shaves were pretty easy to do for some reason I haven't really discovered. I think it had something to do with just the way the beginning of the facial hair grows, but maybe it'll be the same around this time, so looking forward to it. Well, on that note, thank you for watching my comeback episode of Shaving with Hamad. And I'll end with, well, What do you call it when Oklahoma City Thunder's Kevin shouts? He Durant's. Thank you and goodbye.